Hello everyone and welcome to this course on Microsoft Forms. My name is Beth, I'm from F4 IT Digital Services, and during this tutorial we're going to look at building a form and the features we may not know it has. Throughout the video you will see the pause button appear in the bottom corner. This is an opportunity for you to pause the video and have a go for yourself. So let's do that now and log into your Office 365 account on a web browser. Microsoft Forms is a web-only app which allows us to create these great polls, questions, quizzes and surveys. Unfortunately though, there's no desktop program available at all, it is only on the web. Once you've logged into your Office 365, it will take you to your home screen where you can see all your latest documents that you've interacted with. On the left we have our navigation bar, and this shows our most recently used apps. Because I interact with Microsoft Forms quite frequently, it is visible in the bar for me. If yours is not there, then open up the app launcher by pressing the 9 dots in the top left corner of your screen, and this will open up the list of apps. If you still can't find it, scroll down to the bottom of the list and click on the All Apps button. Type in Forms in the search bar, and then you can open it up from here. So this is the Microsoft Forms homepage. From here we can look at our most recent forms, any forms that we've pinned, and also any forms that have been shared with us from other people. Now let's look at creating a form. If we click on the green arrow, it gives us the choice of two different options. We can create a new form or we can create a new quiz. Now there are just a very few subtle differences between the two. A form can be used to collect feedback, conduct surveys, accept sign-ups, peer collaboration and lots more, whereas a quiz can be used to assess students' learning and provide instant results and feedback for them. We're going to create a new form today, so we're going to click on the New Form button, and that's going to open up in a new web page with our new untitled form. Now from here, it's really important that we add our title in. So for example, I'm going to call this one How to Create a Form. We can add a description, and this will give us a little bit more of an idea of what the form's going to be about. We can also maybe do an approximate time on how long the form will take to complete. This icon here next to the title gives us the option of choosing an image. You can do an image search through the internet, use your OneDrive account, or you choose to upload from your device. I've just typed in Microsoft here to stick with the theme, and I click the green Add button to add it onto my title. Once you are happy with the title, you can check what your form will look like to your respondents by clicking the Preview button. It will show you how the form will look on a computer or a mobile device. This is because Microsoft Forms uses a responsive design that will automatically resize the content to any screen. And then to go back to our editing screen, we just press the back button. Pause the video here to have a go. Let's have a look now at the different question types we can get. The first one we can see in the list is choice, and this is a multiple choice style question. Click on the box and type in your question, and if you look over to the right you can see the icon, which means you can add an image if desired. Some phrases that are typed into Microsoft Forms can trigger an auto-suggestion of answers. You can use these if you wish, or you can type in your own responses. I'm just going to include a really rough midweek AM, midweek PM and a weekend option. You can also choose an Add Other option. This means a text box will appear for the respondent to type in their answer. Along the bottom we have some more options we can choose from. Multiple answers means that the respondent can choose more than one. Every question will have a required button. Turning this on means the respondent cannot submit the form without completing all questions. We can click on the 3 dots for more settings. Each different question will have a different selection of settings. For choice, we can choose to shuffle the options. We can create a drop-down menu. I do recommend using the drop-down box if your answers have a lot of options. We can include a subtitle. There is a branching option available, which we're going to look into a little bit later. Pause the video here to have a go. The second type of question we have is a text question. We can use this type of question for anything requiring a written answer. We have similar type options along the bottom. Required has remained on, as our previous question was also required. The difference between a long answer and a short answer is that the long answer will adjust the size of the text box to display all the text, whereas a short answer will not adjust the size of the box. When we look at more settings for this question, we can choose to add a restriction, meaning it will limit what kind of answer is allowed to a number. You can choose an option from the drop-down menu to limit your answer even more, such as greater than, or less than, equal to, and numbers between or not between a specified value. The question we have here doesn't need to be restricted to a number, so to turn that off I go back to my three dots and make sure restrictions are deselected. Pause the video here to have a go. The next question we can choose from is a rating style question. Add in your question, and along the right we have the icon again, so like every question we can add an image or a video. By default we have 5 stars. You can change the levels and you have the option of up to 10. We can also change the stars to numbers if we wish. When we click on more settings for this question, we have a label option. This gives the respondents an idea of what the 1 star means and what either a 5 star or a 10 star means. So when I click off the question, I can see that from one side it's outstanding at the most, and then at the least it's inadequate. Pause the video here to have a go. The next question we can choose from is a date question. Having the option for a date is great for when it comes to analysing your data. This question makes sure your data format will always be the same. There are no extra settings for this question other than required, and the options to add a subtitle and add branching. Pause the video here to have a go. For our next question, we need to go across the drop-down arrow for our more question types, and we're going to choose the ranking question. For the ranking question, this is where a number of items are listed and respondents can rate them from the highest to lowest, or most important to least important. Now this is used to gather information or opinion on products or services. You can add as many options as you like. I'm just going to stick with the Microsoft theme and choose a couple of the products to pop in the option boxes. For more settings, the only options we have this time is a shuffle option or the add branching option. Pause the video here to have a go. Our next question type is a Likert Scale, and it is used as a rating scale that lets the respondent select answers ranging across a spectrum of choices to gain a deeper insight on attitudes, beliefs or opinions. The main advantage of a Likert Scale questions is that they are a universal method of collecting data, which means that they are very easily understood. Your ratings will go along the top, and Microsoft Forms will actually suggest some options for you. You can change them depending on what you want by just typing in the first box, and then some more suggestions will pop up. Make sure to always check the suggestions from Microsoft, as in this case, they've put fair and poor in the wrong positions. It's important to keep each series of questions in your survey focused around the same topic, as this will help you get more accurate results in the end. If we look at the additional settings for this question, we only have the subtitle option or the add branching option. Pause the video here to have a go. The next question we're going to look at is our upload file option. This message will pop up telling you that files that are uploaded by respondents will be stored in your OneDrive. One thing to note about this question though is that only people that are in your organisation can respond to this question, so it's not available to the general public. If we click OK, that'll take us to the question. Type in your question and add a video or image. And if we look underneath, we can limit the file number. So if you imagine you only need one file to be uploaded, you can choose up to 10. It really depends on what type of question you're asking. You have 3 choices on the file size. You can choose 10 megabytes, 100 megabytes, or 1 gigabyte. I'm going to turn the required button off for this question. And if we look at the more settings, we have a new one called file type. This question is asking for a medical form, so we want it to be uploaded in a suitable format. A Word document would be acceptable, an Excel document wouldn't, PowerPoint wouldn't, PDF again is acceptable. I wouldn't want it as an image, I wouldn't want a video, and I wouldn't want an audio file. So you can really narrow down exactly what is allowed to be uploaded. Pause the video here to have a go. Our final question from the list is a Net Promoter Score. The question is preset, but you can customise them if you have a special requirement. You have labels at either end of the promoter score, and it's a great idea to keep this one as required. So there are no extra settings for this question either. The results of this score will show as a percentage, so to stay at 100%, all respondents will need to score either a 9 or a 10. Respondents who score a 7 or an 8 are a passive and it will remain the same. And a detractor is anybody who answers lower than a 6, and this will deduct from your overall percentage. Once you've added in all your questions, it's good to go through and make sure that you're happy with the order. For this particular form, I think having their name as the first question would be a better idea. We can easily change this by clicking and holding on the 6 dots and dragging them to their desired position. Pause the video here to have a go. If you feel that you've created a form that is quite lengthy, then we can help our respondents out by organising it into sections. This breaks the form up into pages and the respondents can't skip ahead, they can only complete that one section at a time. You can do this from the very start of the form before adding any questions if you know you need sections from the very beginning. If you want to add them in after, all you need to do is go through the form and choose which will be the last question of that first section. Click on the question, and then underneath it you'll see the green Insert New button. If you click on that, and then the drop down arrow, and select the Section button. We can add then a title and a subtitle to these sections to make our respondents aware of its contents. Pause the video here to have a go. Let's have a look at adding branching logic. We can use branching logic to any form or quiz so that it changes according to the responses of a specific question. In a form or quiz that branches, questions only appear if they are relevant to the respondent. If the questions don't apply, the respondent is redirected to a different set of questions, or it will skip a set of questions altogether. Choice is the best type of question to use branching logic for, as you can direct the respondent depending on the answer they select. Click on the 3 dots for more settings, then add branching. I've added this extra question in so the respondents can give me some more specific feedback rather than just a yes or no answer. But it's only really applicable if they've answered no. So what I can do is if they have answered yes, I can branch them off to question number 6. And if they have answered no, then they can go to the next question, which is also the same as question 5. Before you send your form to respondents, you must preview it. Previewing makes sure that your form is working as designed. If any parts of the form are not working as required, then this is your chance to go back to the editor and make any changes that are needed. While previewing your form, you can answer the questions as a respondent would do to check that any of the branching rules or any required questions are working. To make your form stand out, you can change the background and the colour of your form. By default, it is set to teal, but there is a range of preset colours or images you can choose from. We can choose a custom theme. And this allows you to upload your own image or choose your own company colours using the specific hex code. Pause the video here to have a go. We can check any additional settings for the form by clicking on the three dots to the right of the Collect Responses button and click on Settings. From here we can choose who can complete the form. Currently anybody is greyed out as I have enabled the Upload File option. If you don't have this question, then the forms are accessible to anyone. We have some other options. For example, we can accept responses, we can choose to set a start and end date, shuffle the questions, show the progress bar, and we can create a customised thank you message. Response receipts allows you to change how you are notified of responses. If we go back to the main settings, we have the option of multilingual. We can add additional languages depending on the needs of our respondents. The languages are really easy to change. If we go across to Preview, you can see that a new drop-down menu has appeared at the top. Click on the green Collect Responses button to share our forms with its intended respondents. And the first drop-down menu allows you to change who can respond to your form. So as you can see, we have three choices. The first one being anyone can respond, but remember this option is only available if you do not include the upload file question. The next one is only people in my organisation, and this one is set as the default. The last option we have is only specific people in our organisation can respond. We can copy the link and post this anywhere we need, for example, on any social media platforms, on a Teams channel. It really depends on who your target audience is. We can send it as an email from within Forms. Just type in the email addresses of those you wish to complete the form. The next option along the bottom will create a QR code. Respondents can scan this using their camera app on a mobile or tablet device, and this will direct them straight to the form. Our last option is an embed code, and this will allow you to embed this form on a certain website. The last thing to look at is how we view the responses after we have created a form. To view these, then we need to click on the Responses tab. The first thing we see is this bar telling us how many responses we've had, the average time it's taken the respondent to complete the form, and whether or not the form is still active. As this is a web application, we can view the results live as they are submitted. If we press the green View Results button, this shows the individual details for each respondent. We can use the left and right arrows to toggle through each response. Going back to the main view, we can look at each question separately by clicking the More Details button, and this will show us the name of each respondent and their answer for that question. As this is a form that anyone can respond to, the name will remain anonymous as they did not have to sign in. The three dots can provide us with some more options. We can delete all the responses, we can print a copy of the summary, and we can share a link of the summary page. Thank you for joining us on this forms tutorial, and make sure you keep an eye out for more upcoming content.